mentioned, I'm Shri. I'm one of the product managers at Cin7. I started my Cin7 journey from support. I worked my way through onboarding for a couple of years, and then right now I'm working in product management. I take care of mostly two lanes. One is the automations, and the second one is the insights. As you guys might have recently noticed, we have pushed reports out of Cin7 and into a separate application. So that is why it opens up in a separate tab. So that was one of the things that we worked on. The other thing that we worked on is a couple of automation bots that we released last year and the beginning of this year. Um, so the main theme behind automation bots was basically ease of use. Cin7 is a really big software and it has a lot of workflows that go around and needs a lot of attention from most of the staff who's working on Cin7. So the idea of automation bots is mostly to take all these individual workflows which involve a lot of clicks and to make it run automatically based on the conditions that you give the system. Um, we have a couple of automation bots. So what I'll do is basically run you through how to install an automation bot, just give you a quick overlook of what are the automation bots we currently have. And I'll also demonstrate one or two automation bots, and then I'll open for Q&As. Um, yep. Uh, okay. Just going to share my screen right now. Rachel, just tell me if you're seeing my screen. Are you able to see my
Yes,
screen?
we can
Okay,
see it
cool.
now.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So automation bots is a completely free of cost tool that is available on the Cin7 App Store. All you need to do is go into the, if you're an admin user, all you need to do is to go into the App Store and go under Cin7 apps. And the Cin7 automation bot is right there available. So all you need to do is click install to install the automation bots. Once you install the automation bots, it is available under the admin screen. You can open up the automation bots from the admin screen. So if I click into it, gives you the automation bot dashboard. So basically the Cin7 automation bot dashboard gives you an idea of what are the automation run. It gives you the number of automations run in the last 7 days and which are the automation bots that have been completed. And it also gives you a quick snapshot of what action has been performed in each and every automation bot that has been run. You can also see different sections on the top, which tells you which are the automation bots that you've installed in the system. Um, if you click on create new, it'll take you to a page which lists all the automation bots that are currently available or that are going to come out in a few days in the future. So one of the automation bots that we have under sales is send emails automation bot. So send sales emails automation bot basically helps you to send email templates that are available in Cin7. So as you already might be aware, you set up a bunch of email templates that needs to go out for each and every order that comes into Cin7. You might use a bulk functionality to select a bunch of sales orders and bulk send out the email. So the sales email bot, what it does is basically take that bulk email sending functionality, club it up into a couple of rules that you see fit, and then send it out. The second part is under operations, we have the retail branch replenishment bot. So branch replenishment bot basically helps you to balance the stock between different branches that are available in Cin7. So you might be having a retail store, a couple of online channels where the sales are going on, and you need to match the stock between all the warehouses and all the stores that are available. So Cin7 helps you regulate the stock between all these branches based on the rules that you set. So basically you can set up a priority list of branches that needs to have the stock immediately available from the warehouse. Cin7 automation bots help you create and dispatch a branch transfer, you can go in and verify and complete the branch transfer itself. Under purchasing, we have a couple of automation bots that we released recently. That is the one is a dropship, and the other one is a purchase to order automation bot. As you might already know, the dropship is a really big process in Cin7. So when you receive a product as which is a dropship product, if a customer or a user needs to send it to the supplier, there's a long process that is involved. So basically, the user has to create a sales order, go into the smart buyer, select the order that needs to be drop shipped, and create a purchase order from the smart buyer, and then notify the supplier, so that the supplier then dispatches the stock and then notifies back the customer. And again, the user will have to go through the process of receiving the purchase order and then also completing the sales order. So there are a lot of points of mistakes that can happen here. So automation bot basically helps you remove the entire manual process and complete the whole process in one or two simple clicks. The same is to do with the purchase to order automation bot. So it basically looks at products which are purchased to order in the order type, and then it helps you create purchase order for those. The next automation bot we have is the batch e-commerce automation bot. A lot of our customers use a lot of online channels or e-commerce platforms to sell. And batching at the end of the day is a really big process or a manual, mundane process that needs to be done. Though it is really important, it is very repetitive. So the whole batching e-commerce automation bot helps you take all these channels, take the payments, match it with the batching time that the payment provider gives you in Cin7, and batch the orders on a daily basis. The last part is the intercompany automation bots. So if you have a supplier and a customer both using Cin7, a lot of these bots can be used in combination with one another. So for example, you will have a supplier that is using Cin7 and also a customer that is using Cin7. So if the customer gets orders from customer's customer and the supplier is the one who is sending the orders, sending or the dispatching the orders, you can use a combination of dropship automation bot to create transactions in the customer account, and also use the intercompany import transaction bot to create purchase orders in the supplier account. We can also pull pricing and also the stock numbers between Cin7 accounts. So it is basically quad accounting that is being converted into an automation bot. I will demonstrate one automation bot and how it works. So I'll take the latest one that we released, that is the dropship automation bot. So before I go into the automation bot, I would like to show the products that I'm using. So I'm taking a scenario where we have two different automation bots that are supplied by two different suppliers. So for example, I'm taking the first and the second product here. So both the product, as you can see, the order type is mentioned as dropship, only then the automation bot picks up the product as a dropship product, and the supplier is totally different for each product. And one of the products is a FIFO product, and the other products is a batch product, which has a size grid attached to it. I'm going to create a sales order for this one. This sales order can come from any channel. Even the backend also works. So I've taken an example customer here. I'm going to put in the two products. So right now I've created a a sales order which has a couple of products which are supplied by two different suppliers. So this is the order. Now I go into the automation bot. I've already set up the automation bot, but I still will take you through the entire process. Okay, so it's a pretty easy setup that I have done. So I've named the dropship order. So there's an option to tag. So if you want to tag a specific channel so that the channel shows up in the workflow diagram that is there here, that'll explain to you where the automation is working. You can tag a specific workflow. If you want to select specific branches that needs to apply the automation on where the dropship orders are coming, you can select the branches. It will give you an option of all the branches that are available in Cin7 on your account, or you can leave it at all branches so that all branches are scanned and orders are selected. You can select a specific supplier so that not all suppliers receive dropship orders, only selected suppliers do that. Just kept it as all because I have just one or two suppliers. You can send an email template of a purchase order. So once the dropship automation runs and it creates purchase orders, it'll also notify the suppliers that there are purchase orders coming their way. So they get a notification that the stock needs to be sent. It also sends the customer's delivery details. So you can send a purchase order if you need. You can also get yourself notified with a snapshot of what automation has been run. Um, and then you can either run it manually once a day, or you can schedule it to run so that it runs based on how much orders that you have. So it runs basically between 5 minutes to 2 hours based on the order volume. So I'm going to save this. So this is the automation bot that I have created. Just So on this screen, you have a preview screen, which gives you a snapshot of what is the order that is there, and a run button. The run only needs to be used if you're running it manually. If you're scheduling it, the automation bot automatically runs. So if I just do a preview, it gives you a snapshot of what are the products that have been added. So these are the two products that have been added. So if I run the automation bot now, and then if I go back to the dashboard, it should give me a snapshot of what automation bot has been run. So currently you can see that there's an action being performed right now and two purchase orders are being created. So if I just refresh this page, two purchase orders will be created for this dropship. If you see here, there are two purchase orders that have been created for two different suppliers. So the only manual process that the user needs to do here is to once the supplier gives a confirmation to the customer that the product has been developed to the end customer, all they need to do is to come here and fully receive the stock. So that basically confirms that the stock has been pushed to the customer and save it. So I'm going to fully receive the stock on both the purchase orders. Okay. So once you fully receive the stock, if the automation bot has been configured to run automatically, the automation bot will recognize that these two purchase orders have been received, and it will automatically dispatch the sales order. So since in this case I have made the automation to run manually, I'll just go back to the automation and run it. So it gives me a confirmation that the one dropship order has been dispatched. So if I go into the sales order, just refresh this page. So if you see the order that was created is completely dispatched. So in scenarios where if one of the products is received fully and the other product is not received, the automation bot will only dispatch a single line item and it won't dispatch the other. So the automation bot will wait until the purchase order is completely received on all the products, and then it completely dispatches the entire sales order. So this also works in sales orders where there's a combination of products that are dropship and non-dropship products. We are also working towards a model where if the customer has a 3PL that supports a bunch of products that they ship, and also a dropship supplier that support a bunch of products that they ship, a combination of this can also be used on the dropship automation.
We do have one question here. How do you handle products that can be purchased from multiple suppliers?
How do I handle products that have been purchased from multiple? As in, are these multiple suppliers supplying the dropship orders?
Jessica, if you want to follow back up in the chat for that.
So in the example that I've taken, there are two products and both the products are supplied by two different suppliers. So two different purchase orders have been created for one single sales order. So once each supplier gives a confirmation that each purchase order or each stock that they have received for the order has been dispatched, if the two purchase orders have been completely received, only then the sales order in the system completely dispatches.
Thank you.
If that answers the question.
So following up, default supplier is dropship, but fallback supplier ships to warehouse.
Sorry, that I'm not able to understand what the question is. So is it like there is a preferred supplier to the product who dispatches the stock directly to the end user?
Sorry, I've just put it in the chat just so you can read.
And I just allowed speaking capability.
Hello.
Question. Hi.
It's actually Jeffrey here. I'm sorry I logged in Jessica's login. Perhaps you have a product where the default supplier is dropship, but if they don't have stock and you have a fallback supplier, but they ship to the warehouse.
So system would not know what is the stock that is there with the supplier. So system basically just runs the automation to create a purchase order to the default supplier. You can still go and edit the purchase order to the right supplier and receive the stock and then dispatch the sales order.
Right. So you use the automation bot to create the original PO and then just switch the supplier.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay, we've got another question. What about back order? Does it create a back order if you're partially receiving goods?
So is this on the purchase order itself, or is it on the sales order?
Purchase order.
No. So the purchase order is currently linked back to the sales order. So I'll just share my screen again. Sorry. So if you're able to see my screen, the purchase order links back to the sales order through something called as a transaction link. So the transaction link basically connects the purchase order and the sales order. So when you're back ordering, the back ordered purchase order does not link back to the sales order. So you will have to manually go and dispatch the sales order. So currently, if it is completely allocated to this first sales order, then it automatically dispatches through the automation. But if there's a back order that is created, the transaction link does not exist anymore between the sales order and a purchase order. That is the back ordered purchase order, if that makes sense. Cool.
All right. Any other questions from the group? Well, if not, it looks like I think I can give everyone 7 minutes back. We will posting this recording as well and sending it out. I'm sorry, Jeffrey, do you have another question?
I can provide my email address. All the other automation bots are also really cool and really helpful. I would just like to highlight for if I can grab like a couple of more minutes. So one of the automation bots is the send emails automation bots. One of the things that we constantly get as questions is to notify internal users in a company that there is an order that has been received. Like for example, if there's a big EDI order or something, we have right now the means to do that through send email bots. Send email bots also help you save time on sending emails that to your customers. So for example, if you receive an order through a different stages of a sales order, if you're notifying customers that if a sales order is being processed or in transit or something like that, you can automate the entire process through the send email bots. Yep. So for example, you have different stages to select to. So if you have multiple stages on a sales order, and if you want to send an email template at different point in time, or get yourself notified when there's a new order from any channel, that can be possible through send email bots.
We have 2 more questions while you're still sharing your screen. With the stock balance bot, what logic does it use to balance inventory?
Currently, we only have, I'll just show it to you. I think it makes sense that way. So currently for prioritizing, we have the top branch gets stock first. You can rearrange which goes the top branch. So that is the logic that we currently have. So based on how much stock we have, that stock gets divided.
Thank you. And then follow-up question. Do we have a target date for the rest of the automation bots to go live, or the ones that say TBC?
Currently, this automation bot is something new that we've launched. So we have tried to cover some of the workflows that we commonly get, but there are a few niche things that that we only come across once we start working with a lot of customers. So we currently are improving these automation bots that we have currently released, but the rest of the automation bots, we are working on it as well. But I don't have a sure exact time when it'll be released, but I can keep you posted on that.
Yeah, and from a partner's perspective, we will keep you all posted as to when those do go live as well. One more for purchase to restock. Does it account for safety and optimum stock quantity?
Purchase to restock, is it a new automation bot that is going to come up? I think yes. No, currently we are still working on the logic for it. So we'll mostly be having a forecasting a platform in Cin7 itself, which will mostly take over purchase to restock.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. Well, on that note, then I will give everyone 3 minutes back. Thank you all so much for attending. We will see you tomorrow. Just a reminder, there is a separate link for tomorrow, a separate registration. So it's not the same Zoom links that we used today. If you do need those, reach out to myself, to Aga. We can get you the link for tomorrow as well. And we will see you then.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Ray.
Yep. No worries. Thanks. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.